Welcome to Mindful Molly with me, Molly Kaluve, a space that challenges growth, self awareness, and reflection in the most mindful way that I know how. I just want to say thank you to everybody that shared this podcast with their friends, family, colleagues, just everywhere, y'all. I appreciate it, once I dropped the trailer and I just saw the love from each and every one of y'all. So even though I didn't get back to each and every person that shared it, I just want to say I appreciate all of you. Episodes will be dropping every week, 9 p.m. Kenyan time. So y'all don't miss that out. And today's episode is on something dear to me, something, that led actually to the creation of this podcast. So y'all stay tuned to that. But before we get into the episode, we're about to do our affirmations for today. So today's episode, I'll be talking about my journey with self-love and appreciation. So it's only right that my affirmations for today are: I allow myself to be who I am without judgment. I give myself space to grow and learn. And I give myself the care and attention that I deserve. And with that being said, let's get right into the episode. Self-love, y'all. Self-love. That's something that it was difficult for me, not gonna lie. It was difficult for me. I still struggle with it till today, And part of it was because, before I used to think that if I love others, if people love me, I'll also be able to love myself somehow. I don't know how I thought that was gonna work, but I thought it was gonna happen like that, Till I was told self-love is not feeling good. It's about being in a state of self-appreciation through actions, that push us and prompt us to grow and improve physically, mentally, and spiritually. And what I translated it to is, for me, self-love is a neutral state. And by neutral state, I mean it's not positive or negative. It's neutral. And the reason why I discovered for myself that it's important, to know that it's a neutral state is because, when you're trying and aspiring to feel good, to feel a positive state, when something bad happens, it throws you all the way back. All the way back, and you're thrown into the complete opposite, which is negative feelings. But when you put yourself in a neutral state, you put yourself in a position to feel good, but also acknowledge the fact that not everything will be great, if that makes sense, And in that neutral state is where you find happiness within yourself. Because one quote that means so much to me is, happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them. Meaning, if you're trying to be happy with yourself, appreciate yourself, love yourself, you got to understand that it doesn't mean that everything is going to be great when it comes to how you feel about yourself, but you're putting yourself in a neutral state where you're appreciating yourself despite all the things that may not be so great to you. And I say to you because a lot of the time the things we see as being not great or good within ourselves are actually just things we see by ourselves, if that makes sense. So for me, when it came to my journey with self-love, I was at a point at one time a few years ago, actually also last year a bit, where I had problems with my appearance, my thoughts, because I just thought that I was, ugly. I thought I was evil because of some of the things I did. I focused on my mistakes, what others were doing better than me, on things I did not achieve, my failures. And it put me in this negative state feeling constantly. And, I tried to, be like, let me love myself. And I'd go online and I'd search how to love yourself, that kind of thing. And I just couldn't find the answers from other people. And I tried to be in relationships, in friendships. About relationships, I mean friendships too, that could try make me feel better about myself. But then later on, I came to the realization that self-love there's a reason it has self. It's about you It's about what you build inside yourself. The things, it's something from within. And because it's something from within, like nobody can show you how to do it. Nobody can really, make you feel self-love and self-appreciation. And over time, when I started to change my perspective on things and I started to focus on it like within myself, some of the people around me who are helping me, some of the people who are giving me advice, they gave me a lot of advice. I had a list of up to 30 ways I could feel better about myself. But there's about 7 that I picked up that were key things for me. So number 1 for me was becoming mindful. I took the time to understand what I was feeling, what I was thinking, because when you gain understanding of your thoughts and your emotions, you have more control of how you feel. You have a better understanding and you're able to deal with yourself better. You know yourself better. And somebody who knows themselves better and you embrace yourself and accept those thoughts and feelings, you start to actually appreciate yourself and love yourself more. And the second thing was act on need and not want. And that's because not everything that feels good is good. Going out with friends, being around certain people, those are things that I wanted, some of the things that I wanted. But at some points, those are not the things that I needed. It's always easy to go for the exciting things. And I'm a Libra, so spontaneity, doing things, reckless behavior, that's probably like a part of me that, is naturally there. But I had to break away from that a bit more. I'm still fighting it, I won't lie. And start thinking about the things that I actually need to help myself, to improve myself, to start appreciating and loving myself. Not just the things I want. Because some of the things you want are not some of the things that are good for you. And then the third thing for me was practice self-care. And this is one of the most important ones because I always say, like, the way you treat somebody who you're in a relationship with is the way you should treat yourself. If you're taking somebody out for lunch, if you're taking them out for a spa day, if you're, spoiling them, if you're constantly, taking care of them and just trying to do stuff, even materialistic stuff to make them feel good, you need to do that for yourself. You're in a relationship with yourself and you're the most important person, before anybody else. So just take care of yourself. Practice self-care. Spoil yourself. Take yourself out sometimes, And when you do those activities that make you feel good, that make you feel like you matter to yourself, you also start to feel better about yourself, to be honest. And then number 4 for me was setting boundaries and being able to say no. I had to learn how to say no to love, to certain activities, to people. And that's because I needed to set boundaries for myself so that I was not draining myself anymore. Like, yes, it's great to be around friends sometimes, but if you're in a position where you feel like, if I go to that place, I'll drain myself, or if you're not in the right mental state to be around people, you need to learn how to say no sometimes and take time for yourself. So you're not always depleting the energy you have within you. Because if you get rid of that energy, if that energy goes, if it's drained from you, there's none left to help you feel good. And when you lose energy, it's just like after running or doing exercise or anything like that. You don't feel great after. You really don't feel great after you're done. You're panting, you're tired, muscle aches. Sometimes you feel disgusting, that kind of thing. So you don't want to put yourself in positions that could lead to that. So it's just setting boundaries for yourself and knowing, and that comes with knowing and being more mindful, on when to say no and understand that this will make me feel a certain way and I'll be drained by this activity. So today I gotta say no. Maybe a few days from now I could do it, but today, no. Number 5 is protect yourself. And this goes with setting boundaries. Protect yourself at all costs because, you're the most important person. You can't give what you don't have. So you need to protect what you have so you could give it to the right people. And by protect yourself, I mean keep yourself away from toxic people, keeping yourself away from people who may, be pouring bad energy into you, that kind of thing. And sometimes these are the people that bring excitement to our life sometimes, but they're not good for us. And that comes with saying no. You need to protect yourself. And this was actually one of the hardest things for me, because I had to let go of people in my life who brought excitement, who were fun, So it was hard. It was hard. And some of these people were so close to my heart, but I had to realize that, you're not good for me, and you're putting bad energy into my life despite how I may, feel. And that goes with the not everything that feels good is good. Number 6 is forgive yourself. And this is something, I won't lie, I'm still kind of struggling with today. And it goes with me dwelling on my past mistakes and the things I've done in the past. If you can't forgive yourself, it leads to guilt. Guilt of not accomplishing something, guilt of doing something. Because some of my guilt comes from, the way I've made others feel, kind of thing. Forgiving yourself is not a bad thing. You shouldn't feel bad about forgiving yourself. And it's something I constantly tell myself. It's okay to just let go. It's okay to say, I forgive myself now. Let me move on. Even if sometimes the person you hurt is still hurting, there's nothing wrong with forgiving yourself, because you need it to move forward. And if you're somebody who's working on becoming a better person, appreciating yourself more, loving yourself more, creating good energy to pour into others, you need to let go of your negative energies of the past, which is just forgiving yourself and saying, like, yes, I may have made a mistake, but I choose now to just say I forgive myself and move forward. The 7th thing, which I didn't realize the power in it, is live intentionally. It's hard to feel good about yourself if you're not setting small goals, small things to achieve. Stuff like, okay, if I've been feeling lazy in the morning, let me wake up early. When you finally start to wake up early and do something with your day, and you set that goal for, the weeks to come, when you do it, you feel good. That dopamine is released and all that, if you're trying to make it scientific. You feel like you've achieved something, and it makes you just appreciate yourself more, like, yeah, I did that, It gives you opportunities to say, yes, I did this, I achieved this. If you're an artist and you say, okay, today I want to start a painting. Once you start the painting, you feel good about yourself because you've achieved something you set out to do. And I used to be one of those people who was like, you know what, I go with the flow kind of thing. But that didn't give me opportunities to celebrate myself, to practice gratitude. Because yes, there were still things to be very thankful for. But when you set goals, there's more things. There's even more things to be grateful for and things to feel good about when you achieve them, So those are the 7 things for me that constantly help me continue to just appreciate myself and love myself more and more each day. And that's because I consistently practice these things. I think about them. I write them down actually on my wall and remind myself to do these things. And when you start practicing, and that's why I said it's about, self-love is about self-appreciation through actions, because you need to take actions to actually deliberately appreciate yourself. And when you're able to do that, it doesn't matter how old or young you are. Like, I promise you, because some of the people that I know do this are way older than me, some way younger, and they just feel so much better and happier with themselves and just love themselves more. And with that being said, I just want to thank each and every one of y'all that have listened this far, for everything, just for taking the time to just hear me out, hear what I have to say. And I can't wait to see y'all in future episodes. And with that, I just want to remind y'all, be kind, be conscious, be mindful, be compassionate, be grateful, and have a good day, night, morning, whatever time it is.